Hello to this beautiful pool, the epic pool here in the lovely city of Fort Collins. This is Sean Peters. I'm here once again with the Pittsburgh legend, Mr. Leonardo Rincuso. Leonard, it's a pleasure to have you back. How are you feeling today?
Sean, once again, you're too kind. Sean, this morning I opened my email. This morning when I opened my Yahoo Mail, there was a message from Cornell Gazdaru, our producer, and I thought for sure I had been fired. But here I am. What can I say, Sean? I'm back for another night, and my only inspiration is that it can only get better. I can't be any worse than I was last night.
Leonard, your humility always impresses me. You were fantastic. Matter of fact, I also received a few text messages yesterday evening, and all I got to say is Dan Hicks and Rowdy Gaines again. These guys better watch out because we're gunning for them. Who knows? We could be on the ESPN Ocho anytime soon. So all joking aside, Leonard, I think we first need to recognize the name of this swim meet and the purpose of it. So let's take it away and tell us a little bit about the history of this swim meet.
Thank you, Sean. So just a few months ago, this meet was dedicated to the memory of Bill Spahn. Many of you who are listening to us right now know who he is, who he was. He was for several years the head coach of the Fort Collins area swim team.
And we're going to have to take a quick break for the national anthem.
Thank you, Sean. So as I was saying, he dedicated 47 years of his life to coaching swimming in various places, including Albuquerque, New Mexico, where he founded a YMCA team. He coached in Wichita, Kansas. He was the head men's coach at the University of Kansas. And Fast is super proud to swim this meet in his memory. His family was here last night. And what can I say? The meet has been appropriately named. And we also should mention, Sean, that he was an assistant coach locally for Fossil Ridge High School, the girls' team. Here we go.
All right, Leonard, let's start this off with the bangs. We got event 47, the B final of the girls 200 IM.
So as we said last night, Sean, this event is typically a fan favorite because the lead can change hands so many times depending upon which swimmer is swimming his or her best discipline or best stroke. So we're looking for some exciting races from these age group swimmers. Looks like Maddie Espinosa of Fast has an early lead. Let's see where we are as they hit the wall after a 50 butterfly. Yes, Maddie is out front, followed by Emily Giannatasio of the Denver Swim Academy, and Caden Frisch in lane 8 in Pikes Peak Athletics. Not aquatic, Sean. Another one of my many mistakes last night.
Well, Leonard, I think it's a perfect time to, again, have some little fan interaction. All three people that are listening nationwide here this evening. How many times will Leonard mess up or mispronunciate a name? Now, yesterday I was keeping track. My notes are very diligent. And I had a total of 4. And a matter of fact, it could have been 3 because I believe one of them was a repeat mispronunciation. So for those listening, if you want to play at home, there's no prizes involved. But how many times will Leonard and or I mispronounce names? So we have your option is A, 5 or less, B, 6 to 10, and C, 11 plus. Well, Leonard, we should probably get back to the swimming because that's what the people came for. I don't think they came to listen to us. So let's pick it up here. We got some young ladies cranking out their breaststroke here, getting ready to go into the final turn for the final 50 of free.
So we were saying, Sean, that the lead can change hands in this event. And we said last night that the breaststroke is often the key in this IM. And that's what Ada Hobson in lane 6 is illustrating right here. She took command, Sean, in that 50 breast, and she's now into the freestyle, and she's cruising to a first place finish. Her brother, Sean, Eli Hobson, also of Pikes Peak Athletics, is an outstanding breaststroker, and this young lady has copied the art. Boom. She's in first, Sean, with a time of 2:39.64. Giannatasio, 2:42.04. They go 1-2, and Espinosa, 2:42.37. Once again, we see the importance of the breaststroke in the 2 IM, Sean.
Well, all I got to say is that was the B final, but they brought their A game, Leonard. That was a fantastic way to kick off this evening. Kudos to all the competitors here this evening. We all know, Leonard, this is day 3 of a grueling swim meet. These swimmers here this evening swam both prelims and finals. So their gas tank is probably running empty, but in true fashion, again, they are bringing their A game.
From Pikes Peak, Maria Trinidad. In lane 3, from Bass, Aubrey Hill. Number 4, from Denver Swim Academy, Mallory Paradise. In lane 5, with the quickest qualifying time of 2:56.06 from Pikes Peak, Alina Fish. In lane 6, from Pikes Peak, Maria Jones. In lane 7, from Pikes Peak, Diana Erickson. Number 8, from Bass, Ariana Zhu. In lane 9, from Denver Swim Academy, Emily Newton. And in lane 10, from Pikes Peak, Sydney Tuttle.
This should be an exciting A final, Sean. Top qualifier in lane 5 is Melina Fish of Pikes Peak Athletics. She went to 2:26.06. And as you said, Sean, these swimmers are competing in the final day of a really grueling 3-day event here at Epic. And we find out in the finals which of these swimmers has the best stamina.
Really. There's no doubt about it, Leonard, and I think as we talk about the stamina of these amazing swimmers, let's talk about the stamina of these parents. We have a large crowd up here creating an absolute ruckus. And I tell you what, they have stamina as well, because they have been the ones transporting their kids to and from this pool. So let's give it up for the parents.
That's absolutely right. Those of you who are swim parents know the commitments. It's a commitment that's necessary on a daily basis, and especially the commitment to meets like this one. Looks like Melina, or excuse me, Mallory Paradise. Who hit the wall first, Sean? I apologize to our audience. Bria Jones. This is an event that is really dominated by Pikes Peak swimmers. We go right down the middle, lanes 5, 6, and 7. And it is indeed Bria Jones of Pikes Peak Athletics who goes into the freestyle discipline portion of the race with the lead, and she's followed closely by her teammate from Pikes Peak Athletics, Melina Fish. She looks like Bria Jones owns this one. Again, the stamina piece. She is cruising into first place, and her teammate is cruising into second.
Fantastic swim. Absolutely a fantastic swim, Leonard. For those who are listening out of state, I'm sure you're all aware that Colorado, in Fort Collins, we're close to a mile above sea level. Pikes Peak, which is located in Colorado Springs, has an extra 1,500. So these swimmers are competing in high altitude 24/7, and that's where it can really be of benefit. Their lungs, they're built for this, Leonard. They're built for this moment.
You got it, Sean.
Take your mark.
Do you want to predict the winner in this one, Sean? Do you want to predict the winner? Call the winner, Sean.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just got my new prescription, so I will be able to handedly predict that we have Hank Calloway in the B final, and I'm going to say something bold, Leonard. I think Hank is going to go run away with this.
I just heard Coach Doug Stone of the Fort Collins area swim team, and he's next to our table. I heard him call this a solo swim. Never heard that term before, but that's appropriate. This is this young man competing against himself. It's a shame we don't have an 11th lane.
I'll tell you what, Leonard, one of the hardest things to do as a swimmer, as you know, I've competed at the highest level there is. Intramural swimming at Penn State, high school swimming in Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. I am the 10-time champion of the Ridgewood Hills subdivision, rec pool. I tell you, it is difficult to stay focused and keep that pace when you don't have a competitor. So props to Hank. Hank has given it his all. He's doing a bang-up job. I bet if there were competitors in the pool, he'd be dusting them right now.
You're right, Sean, and these swimmers are accustomed to training as a group, and they want to compete as a group. This young man, he is invested in this race. He is into the breaststroke discipline, and Sean, he has no competition.
So for those listening at home, we can't quite tell how well the audio is when we're using the microphone so we can hear the announcers. But if you're not aware, Leonard, the leading time, the number one seed in the A final, gets to pick their own song. Yesterday, we heard a wide variety of songs. We heard, I believe it was 3 holiday songs. We heard a very bold choice by a young man, Barbie World. And we heard a few other different songs. So is there anything that you're looking for tonight in the song selection?
You know, Sean, I don't want to give away my age, but everything recorded after 1985 is a blur. You did a good job last night.
Well, looks like Hank is just giving it his all. Again, he does not care if he has no competitor. He's gunning it, and the crowd, as you can hear, appreciates this fantastic swim. fantastic swim. Even though the crowd appreciates that.
Let's go to the A final for the boys. They're walking out.
It's time for the boys 11 club 200-yard A finals. In lane 1, from fast, Matthias Slayer. In lane 2, from Jeffco, Nicholas Schultz. In lane 3, from the Team Hilltoppers, Connor Spiegel. In lane 4, from the Team Hilltoppers, Jaden LaBarbera. In lane 6, from Denver Swim Academy, Riley Saltzbrenner. In lane 7, from Pikes Peak, Ryan Rose. In lane 8, from that, Giacomo Peters. In lane 9, from Pikes Peak, Pat Ball. In lane 10, from Pikes Peak, Nick Delazario. And in lane 5, with the top score of the morning at 240.15, from fast, Finn Morehouse.
This is the A final, and again, as you've heard from the meet announcer, the top seed from prelims is Finn Morehouse, the 11-year-old from fast. He won a 2:40.15 this morning in prelims. He's in lane 5, but look out in lane 6 for Riley Salzbrenner from the Denver Swim Academy, also 11. He won a 2:40.43. So these two should be neck and neck, and in fact, Sean, these swimmers have taken it out aggressively, and it looks like we have 3, 4, 5, 6 lanes in close competition.
Absolutely. This morning in the prelims, Finn Morehouse was behind the lead swimmer, and he came back and just out-touched him at the wall. So it'll be very interesting to see how this is going to unfold here today, Leonard.
And I meant to say, Sean, that close competitors in lanes 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now there are two swimmers pulling away. There are two swimmers pulling away. It's no surprise. Finn Morehouse and Riley Salzbrenner. And it looks like they're neck and neck, Sean, as they go into the breaststroke discipline. The fast coaches to our left are cheering on Finn enthusiastically. These two young men, it can't be any closer than this, Sean. Cannot be any closer than this. And they're going to the wall like a photo finish after that 25 breast. Finn Morehouse now gaining a slight lead in the breaststroke again, Sean. You can't say it enough. Breaststroke so key to the IM. And we can't forget Giacomo Peters in lane 8, the 11-year-old. And he's making his move in the breaststroke. Here we go. Morehouse and Salzbrenner, a 53 to go.
Thank you, Leonard. You just made a young lady from Hershey, Pennsylvania, who I know is watching today, happy for that special recognition.
This is Finn's race. He has pulled away, and the fast bunch to our left is exploding with enthusiasm. Let's see, Sean, how he finishes. Awesome race. 2:34.14. He cuts roughly 6 seconds from prelims. Second is Salzbrenner at 2:38.87, and LaBarbera. That's Jaden LaBarbera of the Hilltoppers. He won a 2:42.66. 1, 2, 3.
Fantastic race. Fantastic. I wasn't sure Finn could go any quicker. He dropped 6 seconds from the prelim, so he, without a doubt, brought his A game. All right, so Leonard, earlier we talked about, the privilege of having a walkout song. Yesterday we did a little interactive trivia with our, again, 10 listeners. And we asked what song Leonard would walk out to, and I frankly was surprised because he picked Vanilla Ice. But anyway, so we've done some diligent reporting here this afternoon or this evening, and we've solicited input from a few coaches. So for those listening at home, we encourage you to play along with us. Again, there is no prize. There is only bragging rights, but we ask you, how well do you know your coach? So Leonard, who do we want to go with first? Pikes Peak? Let's go with Pikes Peak. So we spoke with Coach Jim Weber, and we're going to give you a few options here. Sugar from Maroon 5, The Gambler from Kenny Rogers, Eruption from Van Halen. We'll give you a few moments to ponder that and see how well the listeners know their children's coaches.
This is the B final, Sean, of the girls 13 and over 200-yard backstroke. Out in front is Adeline Paradise of the Denver Swim Academy, 13-year-old. She is out there competing with Mia Lucas of North Jeffco. It looks strong. It looks, Sean, like it's a race among Lucas, Paradise, and Fox. Mia Lucas is out in front now, followed by Adeline Paradise, 1, 2, and 3, Lindsay Botts from Pikes Peak Athletics. We're going to talk a little bit later, Sean, about Pikes Peak Athletics and their outstanding product, Quentin McCarty, who was only, Sean, he was only the top swim recruit among the boys, the class of 2006. He was only the top recruit in the nation from right here in Colorado Springs. We'll talk about him later.
I'm very much looking forward to hearing that. So Leonard, we know a lot of people are hanging. They want to know what Coach Weber would have selected. And for those of you that picked Eruption from Van Halen, pat yourself on the back. So I believe we're bringing this, Leonard, into I believe this is the last 25 of this 200 backstroke. And Leonard, let's talk, we brought this up yesterday. Let's talk about the underwaters and how important that is to backstroke.
Here we go. They go into the wall, Sean. Yes, let's talk about that. Mia Lucas of North Jeffco is your winner. She goes at 2:33.24. Great improvement upon her morning performance in prelims. She's followed by Adeline Paradise, 13-year-old of the Denver Swim Academy, who goes 2:34.43. That's 1, 2. And Lindsay Botts, 3, from Pikes Peak Athletics. She goes at 2:40.93.
And now the main final of the 13-14-year-old girls 200-yard backstroke. In lane 1, from Vortex, Taylor Anderson. Lane 2, Northland Fusions, Karen Garrett. Lane 3, from Colorado Stars, Lily Roche. Lane 4, from DU Hilltoppers, Maya Stone. Lane 6, from Denver Swim Academy, Brecklin Ness. From 7, DU Hilltoppers, Catherine Callender. Lane 8, DU Hilltoppers, Sydney Wesselunke. Lane 9, from DU Hilltoppers, Emma K. Parent. Lane 10, from North Jeffco, Casey Kirschman. And in lane 5, this morning's quickest qualifier at 2:23.87 from fast, Josie Spahn.
Take your mark.
All right, Leonard, we're off for the A final. It's going to be very interesting to see. As I mentioned, our top seed was Josie Stahl. I know Josie is an excellent breaststroker. I feel like I haven't done my homework. I didn't realize she was very talented in backstroke as well.
She's certainly the top qualifier, Sean. In prelims, she went a 2:23.87. Pretty impressive for a 13-year-old to be the top qualifier, among a field that also includes 14-year-olds. As they go into the wall after that 50 back, the leader is Brecklin Ness of the Denver Swim Academy, but Josie is in second place. Sean, just before we went to the announcements, as the swimmers were introduced, we were talking about the importance of the underwaters. And these swimmers know, these age group swimmers know that they can take it out basically as far as they want. They can take it out as far as they want underwater with those underwater dolphins. And Sean, we're seeing from Josie Stahl of the Fort Collins area swim team, she's getting that major breakout with those underwaters, those dolphins. And she's using the walls to her advantage. She comes off the wall, and she is, what do I want to say, separating herself from her competition with those underwaters. The long breakout, and then the smooth transition to the backstroke, and she is using the walls and those underwaters to her advantage. And Sean, she is now in a commanding position. She is in a commanding position. She sees the flags. She knows it's time to turn. Boom. Some of these swimmers, Sean, are even trying to count their underwaters off the wall. And Sean, your timing was impeccable. You talked about the importance of those underwater dolphins, and we're seeing it in this race.
For those at home, we did not pay Josie to break out these walls like we just spoke of, because she nailed it. She has been nailing these walls. And again, Leonard, now you can see the separation. And you'd imagine, again, we're on the final day of a 3-day whirling swimming, so it has to be hard to be just churning off those walls, holding that breath, trying to go out as far as you can. And Leonard, looks like Josie Stahl is an official winner.
Her father must be super proud of this young lady. She was a 2:19.96. Brecklin Ness finishes second with a 2:23.35. They go 1-2, and then Lily Ross of the Colorado Stars, she finishes third with a 2:25.34. Congratulations to Josie.
Take your mark.
So Leonard, we're on the B final of a 15 and over 200 meters. We have Dakota Denanson, Claire Bonham, and Kaylin Fetzer. All right, Leonard, how many mispronunciations have you done so far? I think I might have just gotten one right there.
You know, Sean, last night I was scolded at home for mangling the name of Nere Gazdari. And I don't know how I could mangle her name, Sean, when her father was standing only a few feet from us as he was last night. I don't know, how can I mangle his daughter's name when he's, I don't know, within shouting distance? So, Sean, let's hope I'm on top of it tonight.
Leonard, I'm sure he forgives you. Now, I will say, I think bringing up Cornell, I think it's worth noting that Cornell, as well as Journey, two fast parents that have been instrumental in creating and basically producing these wonderful live feeds that you're hearing today. Now, with that being said, if you're not pleased with the announcements, I wouldn't recommend reaching out to them.
Thank you, Sean. Yes, we hope to get it right. Dakota Jonathan is in the lead. Dakota of Pikes Peak Athletics. She's in the lead. She did not have the top qualifying time in this B final, but she certainly is asserting herself right now. That's for sure. And Sean, sometimes we know, Sean, that sometimes these prelims are not an indication of what the swimmers can do in finals, and that's another part of the chess game, right, Sean? These swimmers know, many of them, to hold something back in prelims so they have something for finals. It goes with what you were saying about a grueling 3-day meet.
Absolutely, Leonard. Chess game, you nailed it. That's exactly what it is. Now, sometimes the younger kids just do not know any better, and they just, as Leonard would say, grip and rip. Go 100 miles an hour, non-stop from start to finish. But as you get a little bit older, what do they say? Work smarter, not necessarily harder. That can be attributed to the prelims. You can, like you said, you can go in at about 80% knowing that when it comes to finals, you'll have that little extra left in the tank. One of the only negatives about that, Leonard, is if you're not the top qualifier, you don't get to pick this up.
That should be important, too, to a 13-year-old. Let's go to the 8th final.
And now, the 8th final of the girls' 15 and over 200-yard backstroke. In lane 1. From Jeffco, Cassidy Bogus. In lane 2, from Bass, Emma Parker. Lane 3, from Bass, Hannah Testa. In lane 4, from Northland Fusion, Emma Bacon. In lane 6, from the DU Hilltoppers, Blair Franciscus. In lane 7, from the DU Hilltoppers, Caitlin Hovey. In lane 8, from Bass, Laura Sasserman. In lane 9, from Jeffco, Lily Barlow. Lane 10, from Bass, Sophia Barker. And in lane 5, with a preliminary qualifying score of 209.55, from Vortex, Teresa Collingwood.
Well, this morning, Sean, in prelims, Teresa Collingwood of Team Vortex, she dominated, going at 2:09.55. She was roughly 5 seconds faster than her nearest competition. So let's see what we find out in this final. She certainly is out in front, that's for sure. And at the wall, the first 50, Collingwood is out in front, followed by Emma Bacon of North Glen Fusion. And Teresa Collingwood is showing in finals what she showed in prelims, and that is a decided advantage, Sean. As we said last night, Sean, isn't it remarkable how these young age group swimmers, they can smash their hands into the water. This is very much an event in which the swimmers can smash their hands into the water effectively. They smash their hands into it, Sean. They manage to keep that head rock solid and steady.
Yes, Leonard. If we just think about normal aerodynamics, if you have your head flat or leaning back a little bit, your backside is floating and you can be more efficient in the water. So these kids have been training this every day, 5, 6, 7 times a week for years. So they have very efficient strokes once they get up to that 15 over 8, and you can see it here. The backstroke has been phenomenal from start to finish. Efficient, powerful. She's She's going to be coming off that wall. She's going to pop out a good 10, little bit about 10 meters. And she's going to be looking to taking this home and do a fantastic time, just like in the prelims.
Her stroke is incredibly smooth. Incredibly smooth. There's that backstroke finish. Submerging in that backstroke finish. Teresa Collins with the winner. She goes a 2:08.12. She improves upon that remarkable time in prelims. Emma Bacon 2:11.62 to go 1-2. And then in there is Blair Franciscus of the Hilltoppers. She goes a 2:15.48. It looks like another good time, Sean, to make a prediction. I think it's another good time to make a prediction. Who is going to win this race, Sean?
Well, again, I am going to go out on a limb, and I'm calling it right now for Jarrett Castaneda from Fast. I believe he has what it takes to win this heat.
In the boys 13 and 14 speed finals once again.
Sean is known for his bold predictions. Sean, maybe now is a good time to talk about Pikes Peak Athletics. So the Fort Collins area swim team was in Colorado Springs to swim at the Pikes Peak Athletics Training Center. It is a remarkable training center founded by George Heidinger of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Sean. He's a graduate of Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh. He was an art major there. Go ahead.
Well, I don't quite know how to follow that up, but I'm sure he attempted to go to Penn State and was probably rejected. So usually that's what happens as a fellow Pennsylvanian, but more on the east side of things. That is typically what happens.
So in any case, Sean, those of you who have had the privilege of visiting that remarkable facility know there's a wall of honor on which the team record holders are honored. And it's kind of a remarkable wall of honor, a plaque for the record holder, short course, long course, and a photograph. So in any case, Sean, everywhere on that wall is Quentin McCarty. And as long as we're talking about Pikes Peak Athletics, we need to talk, and we're proud to host them. Fast is proud to host Pikes Peak this weekend at Epic. As long as we're talking about Pikes Peak, we have to talk about this remarkable product, Quentin McCarty, of the class of 2026. He is right now a freshman at North Carolina State. He was last year among the class of 2026 boys, ranked by many as the top recruit in the nation. He's a USA Swimming Scholastic All-American. He's a junior national team member. He's a world junior record holder, Sean. Record holder. He's a winter junior national champion. He's a World Cup medalist. And these Pikes Peak coaches, they have to be so proud of this young man. We need to keep an eye on him, Sean. He's already qualified for the Olympic trials.
That is absolutely fantastic. He deserves all the recognition that he deserves. I want to throw out some props to Jarrett. Again, swimming by yourself, you just have to put the blinders on and go for it. And what do I see over there in lane 5? I see a handful of swimmers. I see a handful of coaches. We talked about it yesterday. The swimming community, the camaraderie, the good sportsmen. You just do not see that in other sports. So watch as Jarrett brings it home. I'm pretty confident that he's going to get a good standing ovation for his efforts this evening.
The meet announcer is rousing the crowd here as Jarrett goes into the wall. He went a 3:11.26 this morning. He gets a great ovation, and he goes a 3:78. He cuts 11 seconds swimming solo. Sean, gotta find an 11th lane for this kid.
And now the 8 of the 13, 14-year-old boys, 200-yard backstroke. In lane number 1, from Jeffco, Henry Heath. Lane 2 from Pikes Peak, Jacob Weber. Lane 3 from Jeffco, Andrew Stoltz. Lane 4 From Denver Swim Academy, Grayson Connett. Lane 6 from Pikes Peak, Carson King. Lane 7 from Fast, Cole Ramirez. Lane 8 from the DU Hilltoppers, Isaac Lytle. And lane 9 from Jeffco, Logan Garrison. And lane 10 from Fast, Kai Lowry. And in lane 5, with the quickest preliminary time of 2:09.25, from Cortex, Ezra Ferguson.
Change your mark.
So, Sean, boys, 13-14 A final, and this morning in prelims, Ezra Ferguson of Team Vortex went a 2:09.25. Sean, he was nearly 10 seconds faster than his competition. Let's see if it holds true to form. In a 200-yard race, Sean, if one swimmer has a decided lead after only 50 yards, that's not a good sign for the rest of the swimmers.
Well, Leonard, that's normally right, but I've seen crazier things happen. So, Leonard, you brought up some very wonderful accolades from the Pikes Peak program, some of their swimmers, the great establishment of Carnegie Mellon. So I think it's only fitting now, time for a pointless swimming fact. So, Leonard, an outdoor swimming pool was added to the White House in 1975 by Gerald Ford. What do you think about that, Leonard? A pool was built in the White House in 1975.
I thought he was supposed to be cutting taxes, Sean. I thought he was supposed to be cutting taxes.
Well, Leonard, you know there are a few topics we're not supposed to discuss, and one of them is politics. But I will ask you this. If you think about from President Ford to present, which president do you think could throw down in a 50 free?
Wait, repeat the question, please, Sean.
Of all the presidents that we've had since 1975, so we're talking what? Carter, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, the second Bush, Obama, Trump, and now Biden. Which one do you think could throw down in the 50 free?
Oh, Sean, this is a tough question. Goodness gracious. I don't know. I got to think about that one. My inclination is to go with Bill Clinton. I can see him in those shades that he often wore. I don't know. Switch with the goggles. There we go. Ezra Ferguson is the winner. No surprise there. Carson King is second from Pikes Peak Athletics. And then Grayson Connett of the Denver Swim Academy is third. And, these are no surprise, Sean. Lanes 4, 5, and 6.
If I could jump back to that, Leonard, I'm going to have to disagree with you. I think President Obama, I could see him maybe not being the greatest swimmer, but I know he was a decent basketball player. So I'm going with Obama.
There's a lot of logic there. Here we go, Sean. 15 and over B final. Looks like there are 3 competitors here. In lane 7, Ben Hammers of the Fort Collins area swim team, and he's also a member of the Fort Collins High School swim team. There's Ian McCormick in 6 from the DU Hilltoppers, and finally Nate Goodrich, 15-year-old from the Fort Collins area swim team.
So, Leonard, we had that competition about how many times we would mispronounce names. I think we forgot to do the one of how many times will either Sean say a cheesy cliche, or if Sean will try to use a professional sounding word and butcher it. So I'm ready for cheesy cliche number 1. Will Ben Hammers drop the hammer? That's what our fans want to know.
He's holding back, Sean. He's holding back. He's for sure a very talented swimmer, but right now in the lead, it's Nate Goodrich of the Fort Collins area swim team. And he was the top seed this morning, Sean, in prelims. He's the top seed, going into this race. He was the top qualifier with a 2:17.59 this morning, only 15 years old.
For the 15 and over, 200-yard backstroke final. In lane 1, from Jeffco, Carson Wall. In lane 2, from Pikes Peak, Austin Jones. In lane 3, from Bath, Landon Dodd. In lane 4, from Boulder Swim, Calvin Tapper. In lane 6, from Colorado Stars, Edgar McMeechan. In lane 7, from Bath, Sakaya Redrow. In lane 8, from Star, Nicholas Jackson. In lane 9, from Northland Fusion, Aiden Even. In lane 10, from Pikes Peak, Josh Summer. And in lane 5, the top qualifier at 2:01.16 from Bath, Jaden Huffman.
All right, Leonard, they're off. This is the A final of the, do we say boys or men? They're starting to become men. 15 and over, backstroke. Now, Leonard, I've been very impressed this meet. Jaden's been dropping some significant time, and kudos to him, and I have to also say kudos to the Arete head coach of the Fort Collins area swim team, Mike Novell. He must be doing something right because his swimmers are performing very well this year.
You're absolutely right, Sean. Mike was on deck last night after going to Winter Juniors with Ella Gay-Safio, whom we mentioned last night. And yes, these fast coaches have been they've been very vocal. They have to be very proud of the way their swimmers are performing in their home pool. Jaden Putnam, as you said, Sean, was the top qualifier going into this event. He swam a 2:01.16, and that's pretty impressive, especially considering he's swimming with 16-year-olds in this event. So let's reset here, Sean, as these swimmers go into the wall. Jaden Putman is asserting himself. He is asserting himself in this race. Great swim by Jaden Putman. He's followed closely by Edgar McMecken of the Colorado Stars, but this is Jaden's race to win. His backstroke looks great, and boy, he really, what do I want to say, planned that race successfully. Great strategy in the race, and he is smashing his hands into the water. He's the winner. He goes with 2:01.93. McMecken 2:03.68. They go 1-2, and they're followed by Calvin Tappert, the 16-year-old from the Boulder swim team. Great swim by Jaden Putman. He's congratulated by his competitors. Great race. Great strategy. And as you said, Sean, the fast coaches have to be very proud.
Absolutely, Leonard. Now we're transitioning to the girls 11 and 12 50-yard backstroke, B final.
Take your mark.
So, Leonard, this is going to be a quick one. This is a 50, so again, grip and rip, let her fly.
That's it, Sean. Backstroke, depending upon the length of the race, is all about smashing the hands into the water. And Isla Delaney of the Fort Collins area swim team, she is smashing her hands into the water. Looks like she's going to win this one. Boy, is she fast. Boom. She goes a 35.67. She's followed by Jada Perry in lane 3 from North Glen Fusion. And there's Audrey Ferguson finishing third. They go 1-2-3. Audrey from Team Vortex, the 12-year-old. Let's go to the A final.
And now the A final for the girls 11 and 12-year-old 50-yard backstroke. In lane 1 from Boulder Swim, Sage Hickory. In lane 2 from Boulder Swim, Virginia Footman. In lane 3 from the D Hilltoppers, Reese Hilters. In lane 4 from Denver Swim, Emily Newton. In lane 6 from Jimbo, Elsa Soon. Lane 7 from Fast, Kestrel Pierce. Lane 8 from Denver Swim, Hannah Marks. In lane 9 from Fast, Muriel Andrew. In lane 10 from Fast, Violet Smith. And in lane 5 with the top qualifying time of 31.87 from Pikes Peak, Sydney Tuttle.
Take your mark.
All right, Leonard, we're off for the A final, the girls 11 and 12. And before I say anything, I think it's worth recognizing that that was our first hairband walkout. The final countdown by Europe.
Thank you, Sean. The swimmer to watch is Sydney Tuttle in lane 5. She's the top qualifier from this morning's prelims. A lot of cheers for Marie Gazdaru, who's in lane 9. She won the 50 fly last night, the Fort Collins area swim team. Remember, this is not one of her top strokes. Not one of her top strokes. She finishes 7th. It goes Tuttle, Sung, Elsa Sung, and then Emily Newton. So Sydney Tuttle holds up the form, and I'm hearing, Sean, let's go Giacomo. That's what I'm hearing.
I think I've heard that name before. You know, that young man Giacomo has quite a few nicknames. There's Giacomo, there's Takamo, there's Guacamole, and as some of his teammates call him, Little Gia.
And if you're impressed by my rendition of his name, don't be, because I'm sitting next to Dad. Didn't get that one wrong. Hope I don't get that one wrong. Max Diodario of Pikes Peak Athletics is the top qualifier from prelims, but Giacomo Peters he's going to be out there with them. Right, proud Papa?
Yes, sir. Again, Leonard, I appreciate your kind words. I'm winning a lot of brownie points from my wife and possibly my mother listening from the great state of Pennsylvania.
It looks like Max Diodario from Pikes Peak Athletics is going to take this one. In that blackish cap, he is cruising. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, is that a correction? I apologize to our audience. This is the A final.
And now the eighth final for the boys 7 and 12-year-old 50-yard backstroke. In lane 1 from Denver Swimming, John DeBoer. In lane 2 from Pikes Peak, Brady Cooper. In lane 3 from Pikes Peak, Cross Ballspeed. In lane 4 from Vortex, Canyon Nanaka. In lane 6 from Jeffco, Tyler Bonham. In lane 7 from Vortex, Sam Eisen. In lane 8 from Vortex, Tristan Thies. In lane 9 from Jeffco, Dylan Wall. In lane 10 from Vortex, Edison Debley. And in lane 5 with a preliminary qualifying time of 30.05 from Boulder, Luke Axisa.
And we're off, Leonard. This is the A final. And again, I'm impressed with the musical selection. We had Crazy Train, Ozzy Osbourne. Now these are 11 and 12-year-olds listening to Ozzy Osbourne. Their parents must be doing something right.
Sean, it's a good thing you know these tunes. Wow. Luke Axisa, the top qualifier from prelims, using cruise control. He's at least a body length ahead of him. Oh, excuse me. I believe he was the winner, Sean. There may be some confusion according to our unofficial results.
I think that's incorrect, Leonard. It definitely was Luke. If that was cruise control, that definitely wasn't cruise control on my 1984 Caravan. That was cruise control on a Ferrari because he was flying.
B final, girls 13 and over 50-yard freestyle. This is again, Sean, the grip and rip. Isn't it interesting to see the breathing pattern from these athletes? Some of them are conditioned to take a quick, sneaky breath on every stroke. Others put their head down and try to take as few breaths as possible. And especially, Sean, no breaths in the flag zone, right? Sean, you as a former competitive swimmer know it's often an advantage to not breathe in the flag zone.
You are absolutely correct, Leonard.
And now the 13-14-year-old girls From Pikes Peak, Elise Jordan. In lane 2, from the Hilltoppers, Sydney Woznicki. In lane 3, from the Hilltoppers, Natalie Breda. In lane 4, from Boulder Swim, Lucy Glynn. In lane 6, from Vortex, Cody Donacco. In lane 7, from Pikes Peak, Maya Bland. In lane 8, from Boulder Swim, Amir Salazar. In lane 9, from Vortex, Flora Flora. In lane 10, from Vortex, Taylor Anderson. And in lane 5, with a preliminary time of 25.22 from fast, Abby Lempuler.
Well, our top qualifier is Abby Lempuler from the Fort Collins area swim team. This 13-year-old, the proud mom, is standing right next to us at the fast table, and her mom also happens to be one of the fast coaches.
We might have a photo finish here, Leonard.
Grip and rip.
Oh!
Oh, that's a photo finish. Congratulations to Abby Lempuler. She showed some tenacity there at the finish and just out touches in lane 6 Cody Monajem from Vortex. 2 great swims.
Back to what you were saying earlier, Leonard. As a talented sprinter, well, who am I kidding? I'm about as slow as a turtle. But it is interesting, the different breathing patterns. And coaches, you want to put your hands over your ears because you're not going to like what I'm about to say, but it is true, Leonard, when you watch the Olympic sprinters, they usually do not breathe the last 10 meters, but prior to that, they breathe almost every stroke. But that's not what the coaches want you to do.
You're exactly right, and some of these swimmers, Sean, are trained not to breathe in the flag zone.
In lane 1, from the Hilltoppers, Blair Franciscus. In lane 2, from the Hilltoppers, Abigail Slater. In lane 3, from fast, Eva Lempuler. In lane 4, from fast, Mishka Little. In lane 6, from Jeffco, Nadia Lutar. In lane 7, from Vortex, Keolani Moro. In lane 8, from fast, Reagan Rebenstein. In lane 9, from Northland, Fusion, Emily Aiken. In lane 10, from the DU Hilltoppers, Sarah Myers. And in lane 5, a preliminary time of 24.99 from Vortex, Mia Waldron.
So, Leonard, this is the A final, and I believe Coach Amy's other daughter, Eva, is in lane 3. And I want to also note Mishka Little in lane 4. I believe she won the 500 on the first evening. So that's quite a contrast going from a 500 distance event to the 50 free, which is grip and rip.
It shows how versatile these swimmers are. And let's see who's the winner in this photo finish. It is Nadia Rutar of North Glen Fusion, followed by Mia Waldron. And Mia Waldron went under 25 seconds this morning. She finishes second to Nadia Rutar of North Jeffco. North Jeffco.
Change your mark.
boys 13 and over 50-yard freestyle. Top qualifier in lane 5, Dane Taylor of the Boulder swim team. He went under 27 seconds. He went a 26.98. This morning in prelims, and these 50-yard events are anyone's race on a lot of occasions. They go into the wall, and the winner is Vincent Goldberg of Team Vortex. He goes to 26.65, 1-2 with Dane Taylor, and then 3 Ben Summers of the DU Hilltoppers. Another great race.
In lane 1, from Star, Camden Thomas. In lane 2, from Pikes Peak, Caleb Brooks. In lane 3, from Vortex, Connor Waldron. In lane 4, from Pikes Peak, Sam Winston Castillo. In lane 6, from Vortex, Ezra Ferguson. In lane 7, from Pikes Peak, Garrett Locke. In lane 8, from the DU Hilltoppers, Micah Smith. In lane 9, from the DU Hilltoppers, Apollo Nunez. In lane 10, from Boulder Shrimp, Joseph Garnett. In lane 5, with a qualifying time of 54.37, from Pikes Peak, Levi Christopher.
Take your mark.
Here we go in the A final. Boys 13 and over 50-yard freestyle. And the top qualifier is Levi Cooper Peck. He won a 24.37 this morning, this young man from Pikes Peak. And he's out in front. He doesn't have a decisive lead, but he looks like the winner, Sean. Boom. He takes it home. He goes a 23.83, followed by Garrett Locke of Pikes Peak Athletics, and then Ezra Ferguson.
All right, Leonard, we're on to the B final of the boys 15 and over 50 free. And Leonard, look at that white water. How important is that powerful kick in freestyle? Because you only got 50 yards.
Well, you're right, Sean, and if these swimmers are tired, if their arms can't do the job, they have to go to their legs. Aiden Heeman is the winner. He goes to 23.64. He was in lane 6, followed by Eli Paris in lane 4. Sean, let's go to the announcement.
And the 15 and over boys, 50-yard freestyle final. In lane 1, from Vortex, Alan Ferguson. In lane 2, from the Hilltoppers, Lucas Larson. In lane 3, from Vortex, Henry Lasher. In lane 4, from Denver Stars, Chief Green Cochrane. In lane 6, from Vortex, Matthew Wallstrom. In lane 7, from Fast, Ben Hammers. In lane 8, from Vortex, Henry Johnston. In lane 9, from DU Hilltoppers, Igor Bianchi. In lane 10, from Fast, Vittorio Peters. And in lane 5, with a preliminary time of 22.21 from Vortex, Matthew Bramlett.
Take your mark.
15 and over A final. If there's any doubt about the talent of the freestylers on Team Vortex, look at lanes 5 and 6. Both of them Vortex swimmers, 17-year-olds. Matthew Gramlich and Matthew Lofstrom. And they are neck and neck, Sean. And Lofstrom is the winner, Matthew Lofstrom. He goes at 21.82. Am I right, Sean? 1/100th of a second separating those two swimmers. Did I get that one right?
Leonard, not only did you get it right, again, look at the camaraderie, look at the enjoyment out of both swimmers. Even the swimmer who was 1/100th behind, congratulating his teammate. And I think yesterday we talked about the Lostrom family again. I believe they have 18 children, and they're all fast swimmers. So congratulations to the Lofstroms. And you know what? Speaking of Vortex, I was speaking with Coach Nick a little bit earlier, and I asked him a question. What song would he choose if he was walking out for the A final? Do you have any guesses, Leonard?
I do not. Sean, you know him better than I do. I can't. I wish I could. You know him better than I do.
Well, it's very kind of you to say that. I don't really know Nick too well, but he is a big fan of football, or as we call it, soccer in America, so I do enjoy having a conversation with him, even though he's a Chelsea fan. But back to basically what Nick told me. This could be one of the Leonard's favorite. House of Pain. Jump around. Jump up, and get down. You know that song, Leonard. Come on. Don't act like you don't know that one.
It's a good thing you were able to give a rendition, Sean. Into the wall go these 11, 12-year-olds in a 50-yard freestyle. True to form, Maddie Espinosa is the winner. She's followed by Addie Faust. Maddie in lane 5, Addie Faust in lane 4, second. And then there's Ada Hobson in lane 6. They go 1, 2, 3. Ada is the sister of the very talented breaststroker from Pikes Peak Aquatics, Eli Hobson. What a great breaststroker he is. What a great future he has. Here we go to the A final.
The girls are in the 12-year-old 50-yard freestyle A final. In lane 1, the hilltop is Reese Silver. In lane 2, from Pikes Peak, Sydney Tuttle. In lane 3, from Pikes Peak, Diana Erickson. In lane 4, from Pikes Peak, Bria Jones. In lane 6, from Pikes Peak, Maria Trinidad. In lane 7, from Denver's Hood, Mallory Paradise. In lane 8, from Fast, Ella Delaney. In lane 9, from Fast, Aubrey Hill. And in lane 10, from Vortex, Audrey Ferguson. In lane 5, with a clear time of 26.77, Ariana Shu.
Change your mark.
Here we go, A final. Our top qualifier from this morning's prelims is Ariana Zhao. She is a dynamite breaststroker, and as you can see, she's also a talented freestyler. And she is attacking. It appears as though she has the slightest lead. She's pouring on the steam, Sean. She's pouring it on, and she looks like she's going to go into the wall first. Wow, just out-touched by Bria Jones in lane 4 of Pikes Peak Athletics. But a great swim by Ariana in lane 5. Jones 27.02, Ariana 27.11.
Change your mark.
So, Leonard, this is the B final, the boys 11-12, 50-yard freestyle. I'm looking forward to seeing this race. We got a lot of kids that were up in that 20s, upper 20s, 30, 31, so it should be a pretty close. We're going to have a good swim across the board.
Including that Giacomo Peters in lane 9, that talented 11-year-old. looks like Kenyon Monaghan in lane 6 is the winner. He goes at 29:10, followed by Tyler Bonham in lane 5 from North Jeffco. A final.
Freestyle semifinal. In the from fast, Bill Morehouse. In lane 2, from Pikes Peak, Nash Muller. In lane 3, from Boulder Swift, Luke Sheasley. In lane 4, from fast, Oscar Gomez. In lane 6, from the Hilltoppers, Asher Howe. In lane 7, from the Hilltoppers, Eli Morris. In lane 8, from the Hilltoppers, Connor Spiegel. In lane 9, from Pikes Peak, Josh Smallsby. In lane 10, from Cortez, Sam Isaac. And in lane 5, with a preliminary time of 26.56, from Boulder Swift, Luke Axisa.
Take your mark.
Sean, the start is so important in this race. Any 50 race, 50 yards, 50 meters, the start is so important. Luke Axisa off to a great start, 11-year-old from the Boulder swim team. He is the top qualifier in lane 5. He looks like he's going to get the job done. Wow. He goes at 26:39, and he's followed by Asher Howe in lane 6. And then congrats to Oscar Gomez, 3rd from fast.
Leonard, again, your analysis of swimming, you nailed it. The start is extremely important. If you think back to the most recent Olympics, America's own Caleb Dressel has the fastest start of anybody in the world. And when he's doing his 50 free or 100 free or 100 fly, that start is the difference. It absolutely is the difference. When you're competing at such a high level, every little bit counts, whether it's the start, whether it's the underwater, whether it's the turn. And I just want to also point out, we recognized earlier Finn Morehouse, but what about that Oscar Gomez in that swim? 3rd place in this. I've watched this young man develop. He's dropping times like nobody's business. He's another one to look out for in the future. And obviously the winner, Luke Axisa, just a dominant performance yet again from that young man.
Sean, one really cool dimension, for example, in the Olympic trials, one really cool dimension of that 50-meter free is the way the swimmers go crashing into the wall, and they screw their hand into the wall, right, Sean? And some of them do it so aggressively, they're actually facing the other end of the pool when they finish. And a lot of spectators ask, why are the swimmers at the end of that race facing the other end of the pool? That's because they screw their hand into the wall so aggressively, they actually do a 180. Sean, Caleb Dressel has a vertical leap of up to 41 inches. And as you said, if you don't think that's an advantage in a 50-meter or 100-meter race, you're kidding. A vertical leap up to 41 inches.
I imagine Caleb could probably throw down on a pretty nice slam dunk on the basketball court.
There's the finish. In the girls 13 and over 100-yard breaststroke, Elise Nording of Pikes Peak Athletics, she's the winner. She's that's in lane 5. She's followed by Fern Calloway of fast. 3rd, Yasmin Amadou. Lane 3.
It's time for the girls 13 and 14. Christine Hopper. In lane 6 from the Hilltoppers, Natalie Brayden. In lane 7 from Denver Swift, Adeline Paradise. In lane 8 from Denver Swift, Amir Salger. In lane 9 from Jessica, Evaso. In lane 10 from the Hilltoppers, Emerson Cesaro. And in lane 5 with a preliminary time of 1:07.77, Abby Lempuler.
Take your mark.
Let's keep an eye on Abby Lempuler in lane 5. She was the top qualifier after prelims this morning. And Sean, she went nearly 9 seconds faster than her competition. Let's see whether there's anyone who can keep up with her. Oh, look at that breaststroke, Sean. You want to talk about low and forward. That is beautiful to watch. She's got that head down, low and forward breaststroke. There are a couple of styles of breaststroke, Sean, as you know. There's a more kind of like vertical breaststroke, but a lot of the most talented breaststrokers are low and forward, and that's this young lady. That's how you make sure when you're low and forward, you're not pushing those hips down. And Sean, she's cruising, Sean. She's cruising. Her competition is still at the wall, and she has only 10 yards to go. This is as lopsided as we've seen, Sean.
Fantastic 100. Coach Amy, a.k.a. Mom, is going to be pleased tonight. You are 100% correct, Leonard. There's so many variations in breaststroke. There are people that kind of stay low. There's people that go high. Her breaststroke kind of reminded me of Lydia Jacoby, who was the unexpected 100-meter breaststroke winner from the United States in our last Olympic Games.
Second was Natalie Brayden of the Hilltoppers. She won a 1:14.21.
Now, Leonard, why don't you describe to our audience what style of breaststroke you use when you're ripping the pool up here at Epic?
My style is called Call the Lifeguard breaststroke. Bring the gurney.
Leonard, you're too humble. I would say my style of breaststroke is I think I'm going fast, and then I look at the time, and I realize I get outtouched by 8-year-olds.
As always, we keep an eye on lane 5, Abigail Slater of the DE Hilltoppers, 18-year-old. And this is another example of the low and forward breaststroke. This young lady's stroke, this 18-year-old stroke, it is really smooth. And Sean, note the way these fast breaststrokers, they like to keep those elbows at their side and not bring them too far back. When the elbows are coming too far back, the stroke is just not nearly as efficient. Oh my goodness, Sean. She goes a 1:14. Abigail Slater goes a 1:14.95. Great swim.
Leonard, I was just looking up the state records, and for 15 and 16, how unique. Zoe Bartel, Fast's very own, is a state record holder for 15 and 16.
She went under a minute, Sean, a 59.04. That's lightning fast at that age.
It's time for the 50-over-80 final of the girls' 100-yard breaststroke. In lane number 1 from DE Hilltoppers, Summer Banashevsky. In lane 2 from Checo, Reagan Hopper. In lane number 3 from Fast, Eva Lempuler. In lane 4 from Northland Fusion, Emily Ayton. In lane 6 from Vortex, Molly Gorman. Lane 7 from Fast, Mishka Little. Lane 8 from Northland Fusion, Emma Bacon. In lane 9 from Fast, Hannah Testa. Lane 10, from Jeffco, Sophie Anderson. In lane 5, with a preliminary time of 1:08.53, Ashley Jackson.
This is the final of the girls' 15 and over 100-yard breaststroke. Ashley Jackson in lane 5, 18-year-old. She went a 1:08.53 in prelims, and she's the top qualifier. As you were, as you were saying, Sean, the proud father of Zoe Bartel is on deck tonight officiating, and as you so correctly pointed out, Sean, the passion of the parents goes well beyond the college years. So Zoe is no longer, as we understand, swimming competitively, but the passion of the parents for swimming, it goes well beyond those years, and it's a lifetime dedication to the sport. Great to see her dad on deck officiating.
Yeah, I'm sure they're very proud parents. I know she went to Stanford, and I believe their younger son is presently attending Harvard. So rather impressive.
Ashley Jackson holds true to form. She goes a 1:07.16 in lane 5. Molly Gorman in lane 6 finishes second. And then there's Emily Ayton in lane 4. She finishes third. Now we go to the boys. 13 and over 100-yard breaststroke, the B final. Cole Matthews of Pikes Peak Athletics. How many times, Sean, have I said aquatics? This is embarrassing.
Leonard, I think you're not giving yourself enough credit. I think you've said it correctly probably about 4 or 5 times. You've only had a few slip-ups, so stop being so hard on yourself, my friend.
Feel free to take the mic from me, Sean, and put me out of my misery. After 50 yards, Cole Matthews in lane 5 of Pikes Peak Athletics is the leader, but Apollo Nunez in lane 6 is a pretty close second. Let's keep an eye on him from the DU Hilltoppers. Great, as we said last night, Sean, great to host the Hilltoppers here at Epic. Cole Matthews is cruising in this one. Let's see where he finishes. He went a 1:22.12 in prelims. Wow. He's cutting at least 2 seconds off that result. He goes at 1:19.97 in lane 5. Nunez in lane 6 is second with a 1:21.23. They go 1-2. And then Jacob Weber in lane 4 finishes third. Let's go to the 8th final.
In lane 1, from Pikes Peak, Anna Jones. In lane 2, from Vortex, Vincent Goldberg. In lane 3, from Jeffco, Sean Tracy. In lane 4, from the DU Hilltoppers, Oliver Howe. Lane 6, from Vortex, Tyler Waldron. Lane 7, from the Hilltoppers, Micah Smith. Lane 8, from Boulder Swim, Joseph Garnett. In lane 9, from Fast, Ben Sams. In lane 10, from Boulder Swim, Dane Taylor. And in lane 5, with a preliminary time of 1:09.06, Carson King from Pikes Peak.
Our top qualifier in lane 5 is Carson King of Pikes Peak Athletics. But look out for Connor Waldron of Team Vortex. He's in lane 6. And I believe he has a slight lead. He went at 1:11.17 this morning. Yes, he does. They go into the wall, and Connor Waldron has a slight lead on Carson King.
Leonard, you know I always enjoy the musical selection, so were you familiar with what song they were playing when they were coming out?
You know what, Sean? I was not. Once again,
They played the theme song to Top Gun. Rather impressive. Leonard, are you more of a maverick or more of an Iceman?
now you're really putting me on the spot. Let's go with the Iceman. Great finish. Great finish. 5/100ths of a second separating these two swimmers. Carson King makes his move. He was the top qualifier. He does what he was supposed to do. He finishes first with a 1:08.23. Props to Connor Waldron in lane 6. He goes at 1:08.28, just 5/100ths of a second behind. B final, 15 and over. Sean, we're going to have to find time during our broadcast tonight to recognize Jake Eccleston from right down the road of the Loveland Swim Club. If our audience doesn't know who Jake is, they will soon know who he is. We need to talk about him and the amazing performance that he gave this week at the Junior Championships West. He is making all of Colorado proud, not just Loveland.
Absolutely. I had the pleasure of knowing Jake for many years. My kids used to swim with him. Fantastic young man. And not only did he win the 200 breaststroke for the Western Junior Nationals, when they combined the Western and the Eastern, he was number one. So bottom line is, he's the number one 200 breaststroker in the country for the junior age range right now. Absolutely amazing. The guy goes off walls like they don't even exist.
The winner is Eli Paris. He was the top qualifier. Wow, he goes at 1:04.71. He was clearly saving something for finals. He's followed by Nick Goodwin in lane 6, the 18-year-old from North Jeffco. Third, Lucas Larson in lane 3 from the DU Hilltoppers. A final.
And now the final of the 15th annual 100 breaststroke. In lane 1, with that, Jaden Whitman. In lane 2, from Boulder Swim, Jack Garnett. In lane 3, from Vortex, Alan Swick. In lane 4, from Vortex, Matthew Lostrom. In lane 6, from Star, Chief Green Hunter. In lane 7, from Vortex, Adley Ferguson. In lane 8, from the Hilltoppers, Julian Kramer. In lane 9, from Fast, Victoria Peters. In lane 10, from Pikes Peak, Austin Jones. In lane 5, with a qualifying time of 54.93 from Stars, Kent Olsen Stavrakis.
Take your mark.
This is the A final of the boys 15 and over 100-yard breaststroke. And Sean, this is as good a time as any to talk about the talented Lofstrom boys of Team Vortex. Lane 4, Matthew Lofstrom is swimming. The top qualifier is Kent Olsen Stavrakis. But speaking about these talented Lofstrom boys, there are four of them, and we need to recognize them tonight. It's just an incredibly talented family. Let's start off with the oldest, Connor. He's currently swimming at Bryant University in Rhode Island. Next in line is Matthew, who's in this meet. He's a senior at Rocky Mountain High School here in Fort Collins, and he has committed to the University of Illinois, Chicago. The winner is Kent Olson Stavrakis, followed quickly by Matthew Lofstrom. Matthew goes a 57.54, and in there, third in lane 6, Chief Green Cockrill of the Colorado Stars, and he went a 57.99.
All right, well, Leonard, we're on to event 59, the girls 11 and 12 breaststroke. And it appears that our top qualifier this morning is Katerina Belova, again, of PPA. And notice how I'm not going to say Pikes Peak Aquatics or Athletics. That is the question, Leonard. You know what? If you just went with PPA, you will always be correct.
Yeah, exactly. Once again, trying to do too much, and it appears as that one of the swimmers scratched. Am I correct, Sean?
That does appear to be the case. It looks like lane 5 is not, Katerina, who I just mentioned, is not swimming today. It's probably understandable, Leonard. You got Pikes Peak from Colorado Springs. They have quite a distance to come up here, and I'm sure all these young athletes have school tomorrow. So as much as we love the sport of swimming, sometimes you just have to prioritize your studies. And if she's traveling on her way home, hopefully she has a safe travel back to Colorado Springs, and we look forward to seeing her again in a future meet.
It looks like her teammate, if I'm correct, Sean, am I right? In lane 6, Cameron Orkins has the lead. Do I have this right, Sean? No. Or is that Sophia Heidinger? Yes. Sorry, folks. Sophia Heidinger. No. Wait a minute. Kestrel Pierce in lane 4. Sorry, folks. Of the Fort Collins area swim team. She goes a 1:32.78. She's followed in lane 7 by Sophia Heidinger. I guess it's a safe bet. Her father is George Heidinger. A-fan.
It's time for the A-final of the girls 11 and 12 100-yard breaststroke. In lane 1, going fast, Miriam Estheru. In lane 2, going fast, Natty Espinosa. In lane 3, from Pikes Peak, Diana Erickson. In lane 4, from Pikes Peak, Melina Fish. In lane 6, from fast, Ariana Jones. In lane 7, from Jetco, Elsa Soon. In lane 8, from Pikes Peak, Ida Hudson. In lane 9, from Denver Stars, Emily Newton. In lane 10, from Denver Stars, Anna Marks. In lane 5, with a qualifying preliminary time of 1:14.48. From Pikes Peak, Maria Jones.
Sean, it's a treat to watch all the various styles of breaststroke among these age group swimmers. There's so many ways to get it done. There is the high stroke rate, the Scooby-Doo, stroke rate. There's a slower stroke rate that's maybe a little bit more low and forward. And one stroke rate that's looking good is that of Bria Jones in lane 5. She is taking command. Pikes Peak Athletics. She went a 1:14.48 in prelims, and she's going to go into the wall with the lead. But Sean, as you said last night, you were talking about the breaststroke. 75% of it, according to coaches, is the kick. So what goes on up front is not necessarily important, whether it's the Scooby-Doo or not. It's what goes on in the kick.
Well, yeah, like you said, the kick is the most powerful component of the breaststroke. But as you can see, these swimmers, they still have a fast rate. They're extending their arms. You'll hear the coaches yell, shoot, shoot. And that's what they're doing. It looks like she's just running away with this. What a fantastic swim, Leonard.
Let's see how she drops her time. Wow. She drops about a second and a half. She goes a 1:12.90. She was right around 4.5 seconds ahead of her competition. Ariana Zhao in lane 6 from fast. Great swim. And then that's 1-2, and then third, Melina Fish in lane 4 from Pikes Peak Athletics. Now we go to the boys, 11-12, 100-yard breaststroke.
So, Leonard, I noticed in that last heat we had a certain swimmer, the proud daughter of, again, the previously referenced Cornell and his wonderful wife, who's officiating today. Was that intentional to avoid stating her name so you would not mess it up again? Are you trying to pad your statistics here this evening?
With Dad standing behind me, it's better to be silent. You know what I mean? Better to be silent. Looks like after 50 yards, Wilden Amado of Pikes Peak Athletics, he's in lane 6. He's the early leader. He gets that head down. There's a pretty quick stroke rate, and he's pulling away. He's going to finish first easily, and it looks like second will be Nicholas Stoltz of North Jeffco. Great swim by Wilden Amato. Wow. He does a 1:34.16. He cuts nearly 2 seconds. Stoltz goes a 1:37.56 in lane 5. And then there's Nolan King in lane 7. Well done. Right down the middle. 5, 6, and 7.
It's time for the main final of the boys 100-yard breaststroke. In lane 1, from Pikes Peak, Jack Anderson. In lane 2, from Pikes Peak, Ryan Gross. In lane 3, from fast, Finn Morehouse. In lane 4, from fast, Oscar Gomez. In lane 6, from Pikes Peak, Nash Scholler. In lane 7, from Pikes Peak, Jack Ladro. In lane 8, from fast, Garrett Hutton. In lane 9, from Pikes Peak, Brady Cooper. And in lane 10, from Denver's winner, John DeVore. In lane 5, with a preliminary time of 1:19.16 from Vortex, Edison Hadley.
Change your mark.
A final. Boys 11-12 100-yard breaststroke, and Edison Debeling of Team Vortex is the top qualifier in lane 5, and he's out quickly. Is it okay, Sean, if we finish speaking about the Lofton boys?
Leonard, when you hold the mic, you can do whatever you want.
So we talked about Connor, the oldest, and Matthew. There's Sammy. He's not competing in the meet this week, excuse me. He's a 14-year-old with the second best time in the in the state of Colorado, in CSI, Colorado, in the 100 yards freestyle. Among boys 13 and 14, he goes a 47.68. And look out for Levi Lofstrom. Sean, he's a 10-year-old, and he's coming up also.
Well, Leonard, looks like Edison from Vortex is just tearing it up. You could see his stroke. He's built on every single wall. Now he's got himself a nice, comfortable lead as it brings him home on this last 10 meters.
It's been great watching these swimmers. And Sean, we emphasized last night the importance of the pull-out, the importance of the pull-outs. Edison Debeling, he is indeed the winner in lane 5. He's followed by Nash Moeller in lane 6 of Pikes Peak. And props to Oscar Gomez in lane 4 from the Fort Collins area swim team. He goes a 1:22.28 and drops time significantly from prelims. 3 great swims right there.
Okay, your mark.
Now we go to the freestyle, Sean. Girls 13 and over 200-yard freestyle, and this is a great event to watch, Sean, because the 2 free is like somewhere between a sprint and a distance event. I know it's generally considered a sprint event, but it's somewhere in between, and there has to be a combination of talents in order to swim this event well. So the stroke has to be in order. It has to be a fundamentally sound stroke, but there's also the element of stamina that comes into the race. So the swimmer has to have a fundamentally sound stroke, typically, Sean, to win this race, but there is also that element of stamina, especially, as you said, Sean, at the end of a 3-day meet. And also, Sean, how are these swimmers going to pace this swim? How are they going to pace it?
I think, Leonard, you nailed it earlier. I mean, during our generation, when we swam, this would be what you would consider more of a distance event. But now it's just anything has become a freestyle. If you watched this Friday evening, the 500 free now has pretty much become a 5-100 sprint in freestyle. So, yeah, you just have to have good stamina, good endurance, strength, power, good breathing technique, coming off the walls good. Really have to have the complete package to do the 200 feet efficiently. And Leonard, a little fun fact. We mentioned this a handful of times. The present state record holder in the girls 13-14 200 free, 144.55. No surprise, Missy Franklin.
I think that one's safe, Sean, for a long time. Speaking of Missy Franklin, her Colorado Stars teammate, Lily Roche, is pulling away in this one. She's in lane 5. She's going to cruise in and win. She touches with a 2:13.91. She's first in lane 5, followed by Flora Clem in lane 6. Emma Kate Pirak, the DU Hilltoppers in lane 3, finishes 3.
And now the girls, 13 and 14-year-old in the final of the 200-yard freestyle. In lane 1, from Boulder Swim, Reagan Jones. In lane 2, from the DU Hilltoppers, Maya Stone. In lane 3, from Northland Fusion, Karen Durrett. In lane 4, from the DU Hilltoppers, Catherine Callender. Lane 6 from Pikes Peak, Maya Bland. Lane 7 from the DU Hilltoppers, Natalie Radak. Lane 8 from the DU Hilltoppers, Emerson Cesaro. Lane 9 from the Denver Stars, Adeline Paradise. Lane 10 from In lane 5, with a preliminary time of 2:03.31, from Boulder Swim, Lucy Glenn.
Take your mark.
Lucy Glenn of the Boulder Swim Team is in lane 5. Keep an eye on her. She leaves prelims with a 2:03.31. And Sean, she was about roughly 3 seconds faster than any of her competition. And Sean, what do you think? Some of these swimmers, I guess, have to resist the temptation to take it out too aggressively so they don't die at the end. Again, it takes a lot of thinking, a lot of careful thinking. This is definitely a thinking swimmer's race.
There's no question, Leonard. When the adrenaline is pumping, it's only natural for you to want to go out and just grab the bull by the horns. But yeah, you do have to kind of lay back a little, trust your practice. You've been practicing this. You know these swimmers, they have metronomes in their head. They have clocks in their head. They know exactly how fast they are going. So absolutely, you got to pace yourself. You got to have the energy level down a little bit. Don't get too excited so you got enough gas in the engine for that final 50.
This is where all those kick sets come in handy. All of those sets with the kickboard. Who's taking those sets seriously in practice? Those are the swimmers, when the arms get tired, they go to the legs at the end of the race. Lucy Glenn, she's ahead. She's followed by Catherine Callender. Lucy's in lane 5. She's followed by Catherine Callender in lane 4. And then there's Maya Bland in lane 6. No surprises here, Sean. The competitors are in 4, 5, and 6. But Lucy Glenn in lane 5, wow, she really separated. She did all the things the coaches talk about. She goes at 2:03.12. That's an improvement upon her morning time. She's followed by Maya Bland, 2:05.33. They go 1-2, and then there's Catherine Callender. She goes at 2:06.35. 3 great swims. Now the B final of the 15 and over girls.
Take your mark.
So Leonard, in this B final, our top qualifier is Emma Barker, 18 from Fast, with a time of 2:13.81. Well, Leonard, let's mix things up here a little bit. You know, there's a lot of fantastic coaches on deck, but I think it's probably not too controversial to say that one of the most cherished members of the Fast coaching staff is Coach McKenzie, or Coach Mack. I had a chance to ask Mack a little bit earlier what song she would walk out to. From what I understand, she was a very accomplished swimmer. I believe she swam at Colorado State University. So Leonard, here we go. Let's do it again. So we have a few songs here. Do you think Coach Mack would choose Sucker from the Jonas Brothers, Demons by Imagine Dragon, Run the World by Beyonce, or Teenage Dream by Katy Perry?
Sean, I'm going to go, based on my limited knowledge, and my selections should be taken with a dose of skepticism, I'm going to go with Run the World by Beyonce.
Leonard, you know Coach Mack. Not only do you know her excellence in coaching, you know her excellence in musical choices. You are a winner, Leonard.
I'm glad I won something during this broadcast. Summer Banazuski of the DU Hilltoppers is out the fastest, and Sean, this looks like another dominant performance. She's on cruise. She is going to cruise into first place. Would have been interesting to see this young lady in an A final. She was a 2:08.30. Wow. She cut significant time. She was clearly saving something for finals, Sean. She's followed by Emma Barker in lane 5. And Claire Bonham in lane 4 finishes third.
It's time for your girls 15 over A final in the 200-yard freestyle. Lane 1. From Jeffco, Cassidy Morris. Lane 2, from Fast, Hannah Testa. Lane 3, from Vortex, Molly Gorman. Lane 4, from Jeffco, Reagan Hofer. Lane 6, from Portland Fusion, Aiton. Lane 7, from the DU Hilltoppers, Caitlin Mulvey. Lane 8, from Jeffco, Lily Apollo. Lane 9, from Jeffco, Sophie Anderson. Lane 10, from Jeffco, Addison Meyer. And in lane 5, a preliminary time of 2:01.55 from Jeffco, Nadia Ruta.
Take your mark.
A final. Coaches to our left, fast coaches can be heard rooting for Hannah Testa in lane 2. Our top qualifier from this morning is an 18-year-old from North Jeffco, Nadia Rutar. And Sean, this could be a close race. Could be a close race. First wall, no surprises. Rutar a bit ahead of Emily Aiton in lane 6.
Well, Leonard, you know I am the king of pointless commentary and pointless facts, but all I have to say is I think Nadia is the clear winner this evening so far in terms of her musical selection. Pharaoh March, Simon Says, with a sample of what famous movie? Dun, 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 dun. Godzilla. The famous Godzilla.
Sean, you're crushing me with these Hollywood references. You're crushing me with these Hollywood references. You put a great perspective on the swimmer's tastes. Nadia, she hits the wall first with a 50 to go, right, Sean? 50 to go. It's Rutar, Aiton, and Reagan Hofer is sneaking into third place, Sean. She's making her move. Lane 4 also from North Jeffco. Let's see how it shakes out. Looks like Nadia Rutar is going to win this one going away. That's what we've seen in a lot of these 2-3s, Sean.
Excellent swim by Nadia. Absolutely. I'm sure she's going to go home this evening and be very pleased with not only her performance, but her winning Sean's recognition of the coolest song thus far. I'm sure that's going to make her and her parents very proud.
And the meet announcer exploded, telling our audience here at Epic, this young lady went under 2 minutes. That is indeed a distinction. She went a 1:59.88. Maybe a little redo here. This is the boys 13 and over 200-yard freestyle, the B final.
Take mark.
Boys 13 and 14, 200-yard freestyle. Begin.
Leonard, I am proud to announce a fast first. We have our live chat commentary, and not only is this a first for us, but we have our first comment. Thank you kindly, Craig, for your kind words about our announcer.
Craig, if you would like, I'll turn off my microphone. Just be honest.
Well, Leonard, you're too humble. I think you're doing a fantastic job. That's all I want to say, Leonard. Despite the high quality of announcing that you're hearing today, neither Leonard nor I have degrees in communications. We have no experience. We have no skill. Some will say we still don't have any skills. So this has been enjoyable, Leonard. And what do you think I owe Craig? About $5 for that kind of comment?
That's what should go in the tip jar, Sean. That's what should go in the tip jar. Sean, a lot of these 2 free races have been kind of like a runaway. What do you make of that? Here again, we're seeing, I believe it's in lane, is it lane 3, Sean? Is that Isaac Lytell? Right, Sean? He seems to be, no results from the wall here. He seems to be, do I have it right, Sean, lane 3?
Well, he is taking the lead, Leonard, but the field's starting to catch up with him. So as we talked about earlier, you definitely got to pace yourself in this 200. You can't go too crazy in the beginning, go all out, and have no gas left in the tank. And Leonard, look at what we got going on here in lane 5. Out of nowhere. Lane 5, amazing.
Vincent Goldberg, who was the top qualifier, not seeing the results on our live stream. We apologize to our audience.
Well, clearly it was Vincent Goldberg from lane 5 that won. He came out like a rocket there on that last 15. Talk about pacing yourself, Leonard. He was cool, calm, and collective those first 350s, and that last 25, bam, he brought his A game.
The strategy matters. Let's go to our A final.
It's time for your boys 13 and 14-year-old A final of the 200-yard freestyle. In lane 1, from Denver Stars, Grayson Thomas. In lane 2, from Jeffco, Sean Tracy. In lane 3, from Boulder Swim, Joseph Garnett. In lane 4, from Pikes Peak, Caitlin Works. In lane 6, from Pikes Peak, Levi Cooper Beck. Lane 7 from Pikes Peak, Sam Whitman Seaho. Lane 8 from Northland Fusion, Jacob Houser. Lane 9 from Stars, Camden Thomas. Lane 10 from the Hilltoppers, Noah Morris. And in lane 5, with a preliminary time of 1 minute 57 seconds and 33 tenths, from Pikes Peak, it's Garrett Locke.
Take your mark.
Sean, 2 of the swimmers in this A final, 2 of these talented 13, 14-year-old boys, 2 of them went under a minute. That's pretty impressive in a prelim. Garrett Locke in lane 5 and Levi Cooper Peck in lane 6. And look out for Caleb Works in lane 4. He was just 3/100ths of a second over 2 minutes. So this might be our first really, what do I want to say, tight 2 free. Let's see how they pace it.
Well, Leonard, you mentioned earlier that a lot of the 200s we've had runaway winners, and it is really hard to kind of figure out why that is. Are they just the top swimmers and the top performers of that evening, or did some of them leave a little bit in the tank in prelims and let her rip in the A finals? It's a very good question. It's one that nobody can answer, but I think you are 100% correct, because right now it looks like we have a wonderful battle between lane 5 and lane 6.
Two competitors here go to the wall together, and it's anyone's race, at least between Levi Cooper Peck in lane 6 and Garrett Locke in lane 5. Cooper Peck with a slight lead, but really it's down to these two boys. This is a two-horse race. Great breakout by Cooper Peck. He got a really great wall there at the end. And he's going to win. Great wall at the end. He goes a 154.49, followed by lane 5, Garrett Locke. Both of these swimmers, Sean, of Pikes Peak Athletics. That team has to be super proud of those two threes. 3 is Caleb Wirtz in lane 4, also of Pikes Peak. Pikes Peak took that one home.
Take your mark.
All right, Leonard, we're on to the B final of the 15 and over boys 100 freestyle, and I think we need to give a special recognition not only for the coaches and the great work all the officials are doing, but Mr. Matt Wozniak, our announcer. He is doing a fantastic job, and go figure, Leonard, because he also does the play-by-play for Colorado State women's basketball, volleyball, and the public address announcer for CSU football. Now the question is, how did we land such a top talent, yet the people listening on YouTube are stuck with us two schmucks?
I don't know, Sean. Now I feel like leaving the building. I think I need to walk out of the building. I'm way too close to Matt Wozniak. So, Sean, I have a little trivia of my own. You know, Sean, I've been copying you the entire weekend, and I take my inspiration from you. So I have a little trivia. We're going to talk about Johnny Weissmuller from Windber, Pennsylvania, out there in the western part of the state. He goes way back, Sean. He was a 5-time gold medalist in the Olympics. He competed in the 1924 games in Paris and the 1928 games in Amsterdam. Between those two Olympic games, he won 5 gold medals. But Sean, he went on to become more famous as a star of the Hollywood screen. He made, 12 feature films with MGM and RKO. And Sean, here's my question for you. Which role did he play? Was it Doc Holliday, Tarzan, the detective Dick Tracy, or Sherlock Holmes? I can repeat those later. Let's watch this finish. Wow. Fast has to be super proud of Landon Dodds in lane 5. He swims true to form. He goes a 159.10 to win that heat. He's followed by Wyatt Fortney in lane 4 and Lowen DeBovis in lane 8. Let's go to the A5. final. Matthew Gramlich is our top qualifier in lane 5 from Team Vortex. 17-year-old. He went a 1:46.78. But I see Vittorio Peters in lane 7, and I want to ask the proud papa whether he has a little cotton in his mouth, you know, a little nervousness watching his son swim.
Leonard, yes, I am a proud parent, but I'm also a big fan of the sport. So I don't get nervous for my kids' swims. I'm just excited to see all these youngsters going for it. But I would like to take this opportunity to take a shot at the trivia question that you asked me. Now, I figured you'd give me some obscure trivia, but I figure it would be related to the Pittsburgh Steelers, Primanti Brothers, sandwiches, steel. But you give me with some obscure 1920. Leonard, were you around in 1920? That's all I want to know.
I go back nearly that far. So do you remember the 4 possibilities? This is again.
I'm sorry, Leonard. I'm grabbing the mic from you because I do. And I tell you what I'm going to go with. Many people will call me uncivilized, so I'm going with Tarzan.
Sean, you have amazing intuition. You nailed it, brother. You nailed it. 5-time gold medalist in swimming. In the Olympics, Johnny Weissmuller from Windber, Pennsylvania. He made 12 feature films for MGM and RKO as Tarzan. 2 swimmers going into the finish here, and Matthew Gramlich looks like he has the winning touch. He's followed by his teammate, Henry Lasher, another 17-year-old from Team Vortex. Vortex has to be proud of all of its swimmers, especially these freestylers. Calvin Tappert in lane 4 finishes 3rd.
So, Leonard, are you saying I was correct that he was Tarzan?
You have amazing intuition, Sean. You have amazing intuition.
Ladies and gentlemen, Leonard has a stockpile of statistics, analysis. He's got a computer up. He's doing there's a lot of research that goes into this broadcast. And all I have to say is I see Doc Holliday on the computer. So my question is, were you trying to throw me off? Did you know I was going to attempt to cheat by looking at your screen? And did I throw you a curveball by picking Tarzan?
You did the right thing, Sean. Go with your intuition. Go with your intuition. So I ran out of, after 3 choices, I ran out of a 4th and just went with Doc Holliday.
Well, Leonard, I don't like to be topped for obscure facts or questions, so I'm going to bring one right back to you. All right, I would like for you, Leonard, to guess, and those at home, which famous actresses were also age group swimmers. We have Gwen Stefani, musician and actress, Hilary Swank, Megan Fox, none of the above, or all of the above.
Sean, my intuition is telling me that it's all of the above. I'm not sure why. That's what my intuition is telling me.
Leonard, again, I am amazed. You are correct. All of those 3, Gwen Stefani, Hilary Swank, Megan Fox, all swimmers. And I will actually argue, Leonard, I'm going to take this into a different direction, but I think swimming is one of the few sports that builds character. It builds strength, not only physically, but in your mind. And you see a lot of swimmers go on to accomplish great things in this world.
It's true, Sean. And look at the parents among all these club teams, parents who are successful in one field or another, and the parents trace their success back to their age groups swimming, their competition, and they pass the magic of the sport onto their children.
Absolutely correct, Leonard. I mean, I would not be here with you sharing this microphone, doing live announcing, live commentary for Fast if it wasn't for my swimming career as a youth.
Hilgers first. Isla Ladro. Hilgers in lane 6 first, followed by Isla Ladro in lane 5 and Jake Perry 3 in lane 7. The winner goes at 2:33.20. Ladro 2:34.17. Jada Perry goes at 2:34.93. A final. There's 11-12 200 yard freestyle. A final night, and I saw, Sean, you made a little note during those introductions.
Absolutely, Leonard. If my statistics and my observations are correct, I saw at least 4 girls flexing their biceps. All I got to say is they're pumped up. And there's some guns on display. I don't know what the coaches are doing in Drylands, but they're doing something right because they're bringing out the heavy artillery.
Leave it to the girls to do the Hans and Franz before the big event. Our top qualifier is Maria Trinidad in lane 5. Look out for Mireille. That's Mireille Gazdaru in lane 6, another 12-year-old from Fort Collins.
Leonard, another thing that impresses me with your announcing is you never shy away from the competition. You've been challenged on Mireille's name multiple times. And I thought you were going to duck this one, but you stepped up to the plate, just like these swimmers are stepping up this evening. Congratulations, Leonard.
Well, true to form, Maria Trinidad of Pikes Peak Athletics is in the lead here. Mireille Gazdaro is not far behind, and Sean, it's basically a 2-girl race. The proud parents are standing to our right. Cornell, our producer, taking video, and Mom watching. She's one of the meet officials. I believe 50 yards to go. And the proud parents looking on. This looks like it's Maria Trinidad's race to win. She is pulling away. It's been a frequent theme in this 2-free. Goes back to a lot of what we were saying, Sean, about strategy, fundamentals, stamina. There are going to be some impressive swims here. Let's see what this final. Time is. Maria Trinidad goes at 2:15.48. Cuts time from prelims. Congratulations to Mireille Gazdaro. She goes at 2:19.60 in lane 6. Third is Kestrel Pierce, lane 4, also from Fast. Congratulations to the Fast swimmers.
Take your mark. Stand, please.
right, Leonard, we're on to event 64, the B final of the boys 11 and 12 200 freestyle. Our top qualifier this evening in the B final is Bowden Keller from Vortex. So, Leonard, I just want to do some special recognition here. We've had quite a few chats in the live chat. We got a lot of representation from Pikes Peak. Looks like Greg is from Pikes Peak. He broke his foot. Sorry to hear that, my friend. I hope you have a speedy recovery. Jennifer, thank you very much for your kind words. And Alvin said, are we watching swimming? Well, we're absolutely watching swimming. The announcing, that's a whole nother story.
Out in the lead is Bowden Keller, lane 5, Team Vortex. Lane 4, Wilden Amadu, a distant second. This is definitely Bowden Keller's race to win. Would have been interesting to see this young man in finals. 50 yards to go.
Once again, Leonard, I'm impressed not only with the people in the lead, but those who are falling behind, because, again, this has been a grueling swim meet. This has been 3 days. These young ladies and young gentlemen have been doing prelims in the morning, many of them swimming 2 to 3 events per session. Then they have to come back for the finals. Again, hats off to all the competitors. It's just been a phenomenal meet. It's been phenomenal to watch these young athletes go after it, even if the tank is on empty.
You're absolutely right, Sean. Bowden Keller is your winner in lane 5. He goes at 2:33.22, cuts time from this morning. Would have been interesting to see him in the A final. He's followed by Wilden Amadu in lane 4. He goes at 2:44.53. And then Cash Milky in lane 6 goes at 2:46.11. A lot of great time drops. Let's go to the A final. Here we go into the A final, and finally, Sean, we're joined by one of the experts, one of the swimmers, We're joined by 11-year-old Finn Morehouse of the Fort Collins area swim team, and he's going to break down this race. Finn, take it away.
Okay, so basically, the first 50, you don't want to go out very hard. If you go out too hard, you're going to be dead for the last half. And if you go out too easy, you're going to be super far behind, and you're not going to be able to make that up on the last half. So it's really, you just have to be able to pace yourself pretty good.
So, Finn, I have to ask you, as an accomplished swimmer, how important are the walls, and how as important is the start on a 200?
Well, if you get off the wall fast and you have a far underwater, you don't have to swim as much. And the start, you have to get out and stay with the pack off of the start, but you can't go out too fast. So,
Finn, your analysis is excellent. Matter of fact, Leonard, we have 2 chairs here. I think we should just walk away. Would this be a merciful walk away and just let the experts take over from this point?
I was going to say, I think I've been fired. That was a great analysis, Sean.
You can clearly tell that Finn's been paying attention to his coaches. I think Coach Mack would be very proud of that in-depth analysis. All right, it looks like, again, we're going to have a clear winner here, Leonard.
Yes. Asher Howell of the DU Hilltoppers. Wow. Significant time drop from this morning. He goes at 2:07.90. He's followed in lane 6 by Eli Morris, his teammate from the Hilltoppers, goes at 2:12.36. And then there's Sam Eisen in lane 3. Team Vortex, he goes at 2:18.77. Congratulations to Asher. That is a great time for an 11-year-old, Sean, an 11-year-old swimmer. That's a great time. B final. B final girls, 13 and over, 100-yard butterfly. Sean, can we finish what we were saying about Jake Eccleston? Epic here was buzzing with the news of Jake Eccleston, this young man, the 16-year-old who swims just down the road for the Loveland Swim Club. He competed this week in the Speedo Winter Junior Championships West, and he was the champ, Sean. He was the champ of the 200 yards breaststroke. He went a 1:54.50, and he brings a lot of pride to Colorado. Congratulations to him. Talk about a bright future. And he's already committed. I believe he's already committed to a university. We'll do some research and make sure we get that right. It might be the University of Louisville. Sounds right.
All right, Leonard, back to the fly. We talked about this the other day. The butterfly is a rather difficult event. Takes a lot of strength, a lot of endurance to compete at a high level in the butterfly. So it looks like our unofficial winner is lane 5 from the DU Hilltoppers, Catherine Callenberg.
Significant time drop from this morning. Let's go to the 8 final.
The A final of the girls 13 and 14 100-yard butterfly. In lane 1 from Vortex, Taylor Anderson. In lane 2 from Denver Swim Academy, Amir Slicker. In lane 3 from Pikes Peak, Maya Glenn. Lane 4 from Fast, Lucy's call. Lane 6 from Bass, Abby Lemkuler. Lane 7 from Boulders Road, Lucy Glynn. Lane 8 from North Glen Fusion, Kendall Johnson. Lane 9 from Pikes Peak, Elise Norton. Lane 10 from the Hilltoppers, Sydney Wasansky. And in lane 5, a preliminary time of 1 minute, 0.93. Cody Nanaka.
Take your mark.
Here we go. Very fine. Girls 13 and over 100-yard butterfly. When you rate Sean, butterfly is a very demanding stroke. There are 2 kicks that are used in this stroke, Sean. First and second kick. And it's great to watch these swimmers and see those 2 kicks. Even though it's sometimes difficult to recognize in real time. The first kick, Sean blasts the hands into the water, and the second kick blasts the hands out of the water. That second kick is usually the bigger of the two and the more important to get those hands up and out of the water.
Excellent insight, Leonard. Just want to throw a shout out to Josh and Lucy Bell, who officially has the state record. So he's at 52 minutes. That is a great score.
Fast coaches are exploding.
Second place, Abby Lemkuler. And third place, Susan
58-78, but look at Lemkuler at a 59-58. Congratulations to Abby at
Take your
fast.
mark.
B final, 15 and over. Isabel Anderson is the top qualifier. And there's the name of Nadia Jackson. She's swimming in lane 1. She's a junior at Fossil Ridge High School. A really great competitor for fast.
So Leonard, we talk about the challenges of butterfly and the skill set one must have. Again, I'd like to bring it back to those underwaters, because those underwaters in butterfly are crucial. And I'm sure a lot of listeners, when they watch the Olympics, will probably think back to Michael Phelps and his miraculous butterfly. Very often when he was doing the 100-meter fly, he was like 4th or 5th at the wall. He would blast off underwater like a rocket and pop out first. So that just emphasizes the importance of the underwater. Leonard, lane 5 just simply ran away with that race. Is that Isabel Anderson?
She goes a 102.53. She's followed by Sage Sieber at lane 6 from Team Vortex. She goes a 107.38. And 107.80 for Lily Bestor of North Jefferson.
It's time for the 15 and over 100-yard final. In lane 1 from the TU Hilltoppers, Sarah Myers. Lane 2 from Vortex, Maddie Hayes. Lane 3 from Vortex, Teresa Hollywood. Lane 4 from North Glen Fusion, Emma Bacon. Lane 6 from Star, Ashley Jackson. Lane 7 from Bass, Eva Lemkuler. Lane 8 from Vortex, Caroline Morrow. Lane 9 from Bass, Brandon Rivestein. Lane 10 from TU Hilltoppers, Glenn Francisco. And in lane 5, a qualifying time of
Sean, our top qualifier, Mia Waldron, went 59.01 this morning in prelims, and let's see if she can go under 59 seconds. That's quite an accomplishment for a 17-year-old in this event. And Sean, you were talking about the importance of the underwaters off the wall. So it's really important. Big splash, Sean. What's really important is that breakout stroke off the wall and butterfly. That's supposed to be the biggest stroke in any 25 yards, just pulling the whole pool full of water. And that stroke, that big breakout stroke happens because of the momentum from the underwaters. Final 25 yards. This is a great race, Sean, but it looks like this is going to be a photo finish here. Emma Bacon and Mia Waldron. We're going to go, wow, Sean, this one goes right down to the wire. Emma Bacon finishes strong. She beats Mia Waldron with a 58.26. There are only 8/100ths of a second separating those two swimmers. No problem going under 59 seconds.
Leonard, that's what I call the shake and bake.
Congratulations to Emma. Wow, she really saved something for finals.
Even though Mia didn't win, Sean's going to have to give her the unofficial number 2 song choice of the day, Intergalactic by Beastie Boys.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. Sean, you were talking earlier, you made a great point that, sure, there's a great feeling of satisfaction that comes from going into a final and feeling great and striving for a personal best. But there's also a great feeling, Sean, that comes from an athlete, a swimmer who maybe isn't feeling so great, but wants to get in the water and simply do his best, whatever the results are, and to fight through the pain, fight through the soreness, fight through the fatigue. There's a great feeling that comes from just finishing the race with 100%. There we go. B final, Micah Smith. He was in lane 4. He goes at 106.07. Sean Tracy in lane 7, 107.52. They go 1-2. And then Reese Clody in lane 6. Goes at 109.12. A final.
It's now time for the 13 and 14-year-old boys 100-yard butterfly A final. In lane 1, from Colorado Stars, Camden Thomas. Lane 2, from Pikes Peak, Carson Pig. Lane 3, Pikes Peak, Sam Wiggin Castillo. Lane 4, Pikes Peak, Garrett Locke. Lane 6 from Vortex, Ezra Ferguson. Lane 7, Pikes Peak, Caleb Wirtz. Lane 8 from Vortex, Connor Waldron. Lane 9 from Fast, Cole Ramirez. Lane 10 from DU Hilltoppers, Ben Summers. And in lane 5, with a preliminary time of 57.71 from Pikes Peak, Levi Rupert Bell.
Take your mark.
Sean, we've been talking about the Denver Swim Academy. Fast is proud to host this excellent club team in this meet. And Clark Smith, the Olympian, is a product of the Denver Swim Academy. And he holds the 13-14 boys record in this one fly. In 2009, he won a 50.92. And that looks like another record, Sean, that's not to be broken anytime soon.
All I can say, Leonard, is lane 5 is taking it out Levi Cooper Peck from PPA is just with a dominant swim. At least 2 body lengths ahead going into the final 25.
Yes. Breathing on every stroke, Sean. Breathing on every stroke. How about that? And he goes into the wall. Nice swim. He goes a 56.38 to finish first. Ezra Ferguson in lane 6 goes a 59.65. Both swimmers under a minute. 2 great swims. Props to Garrett Locke in lane 4. He finishes third. Now the 15 and older boys. You know, Sean, obviously in the butterfly, the swimmers have to fly their hands over the water. And that, again, the ability to do that is propelled by the kick. When the swimmers are getting the 2 kicks going, especially that second kick, that's how they're able to fly their hands over the water. When they can't get their hands out of the water, they're getting tired, and oftentimes it's the kick that's not driving the stroke.
Well, Leonard, that makes sense. And I guess that's why my butterfly is absolutely atrocious.
And mine, Sean, again, call the lifeguard. Let's get the lifeguard involved.
Well, Leonard, once again, it looks like we have a clear front runner in the B final of the boys 100 butterfly. Eli Paris from PPA, age 15. Fantastic time, came in under a minute, 59.34, our unofficial B final winner.
Julian Kramer in lane 6 finishes second, 103.50. And there's Franco in lane 4. He goes 104.66. A final.
In lane 2, from Mass, Nate Goodrich. In lane 3, from DU Hilltoppers, Igor Miakic. In lane 4, from Boulder Swim, Jack Garnett. Lane 6, from Jeffco, Joseph Stoll. Lane 7, from Jeffco, Nick Goodwin. Lane 8, from Vortex, Henry Johnson. Lane 9, from Jeffco, Carson Wall. Lane 10, from the Dune Hilltoppers, Grant Spear. And in lane 5, with a preliminary time of 52.07, Matthew Lostra.
Change your mark.
Again, Sean, we were talking about the talented family of Lofstrom boys on Team Vortex. Matthew's our top seed. In lane 5, he went a 52.07 in prelims, and he's Sean. His time from prelims is well ahead of that of his competitors. Look at that stroke, Sean. That stroke is beautiful. Look how long and aggressive he is. Look at his walls, Sean. That's one of the fastest open turns we've seen tonight. He is exploding in this race. Maybe he's going to go under 52.
Leonard, this is a phenomenal race. This is one of the top races I've seen this evening. He is going for it, and you are correct. That turn off the wall was phenomenal.
That open turn was like lightning. 51.45. That time speaks for itself. And again, this young man is verbally committed to the University of Illinois, Chicago, and that swim team is really going to benefit from Matthew Lofstrom. Great swim in the 8th final.
All right, Leonard, we're almost wrapping up this beat, and another coach I would like to recognize, one of Fast's favorite, is Coach Doug. For those of you who don't know Coach Doug, you could probably hear him on the pool deck because he's probably the loudest coach that Fast has. Actually, give me 1 second. I got to recognize the songs that are being played.
It's time for the 67 of the A-final of the Euro 11 and 12-year-old 100-yard butterfly. Placing in lane 4 from Pikes Peak, Sophia Heininger. In lane 6 from Pikes Peak, Melina Fish. Lane 7 from Denver Swim Academy, Emily Giannatasio. And in lane 5 with a preliminary time of 1:08.61 from the Denver Swim Academy, Mallory Paradise.
Change your mark.
So, Leonard, here we go with the A final. Our top seed again, Mallory Paradise. And not only is, am I incorrect? Nope. And not only is she our top qualifier, she's our top flexor of the evening. Did you see those flexes that she was doing there? I think Arnold Schwarzenegger would be proud. All right, Leonard, I do have to get back to this, because we need to make sure we give Coach Doug some props. So I do have to ask you, what song would Doug walk out to? Would he walk out to Tom Petty, Learning to Fly? Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire? Weezer, self-titled Weezer? Or D, Meek Mill, Dreams and Nightmares? I'll let you call this last 25, Leonard, but I want you to think long and hard.
Mallory Paradise is true to form. Good time from prelims is, what do I want to say, a great account of what she does in finals. She goes a 108.24, drops from prelims. She's followed by Melina Fish in lane 6 from Pikes Peak Athletics. And then we go Heidinger in lane 4 and Giannatasio in lane 7.
Change your mark.
B final, the boys 11, 12, 100-yard butterfly. Sean, it's been a pleasure working with you this weekend. You held me up. You carried me, Sean, as I was fumbling through the lane assignments and such. I'm most grateful to you.
Leonard, again, your humility knows no boundaries. You did a fantastic job, Leonard. Absolutely fantastic. There was no carrying Leonard. Leonard could fly solo and still knock this out of the park. So I do have to ask you, Leonard, Coach Doug, what do you think? What would be his song?
I'm going with the Weezer.
You are incorrect. Now, I thought Coach Doug would be down with the rap genius from Philadelphia, Meek Mill's Dreams and Nightmares. And that song, just so you know, was played before the Eagles won the Super Bowl, which the Steelers haven't won in quite a few years. But I know the Steeler comeback will be, how many rings do we have, Sean? I've heard it before. But Coach Doug is Tom Petty, Learning to Fly. And Leonard, it's been a privilege with you as well. I think we missed the opportunity to thank some of our sponsors here, which we'll get to in a second. It looks like Lane 5, Nicholas Stoltz, will be our unofficial winner, with Nick Diodario coming in a close second.
In from the DU Hilltoppers, Eli Morris. Lane 7 from the Denver Swim Academy, Riley Saltspreader. Lane 8 from the DU Hilltoppers, Jaden Lamara. Lane 9 from Boulder Swim, Luke Shensley. Lane 10 from Jeffco, Dylan Wall. In lane 5 with a qualifying time of 1:05.75 from Boulder Swim, Luke Axisa.
Change your mark.
Sean, you and I have been calling the name of Luke Axisa in all the finals. In a lot of the finals, excuse me. This talented 11-year-old is competing with 12-year-olds. He's our top qualifier from prelims. And Sean, he was roughly around 3 seconds faster than his competition. He of the Boulder swim team. And it's no surprise he's out in front after 50 yards. Let's see who his competitors are as he goes into the wall. It's his race for sure to win.
What really impresses me with his swimming is we talked earlier about how important it is getting off the blocks and the underwaters off the wall, and Luke excels at both of those.
Yeah, great breakout. He clearly is working those underwaters, and this young man has his stroke well put together. He's going to cruise. He's a body length ahead of his competition. He's going to cruise into the wall in first place. Congratulations to him. He goes at 106.24. He's followed by Asher Howe in lane 4 at 107.92. Now there's Eli Morris in lane 6 from the Hilltoppers. Also from the Hilltoppers, he goes 110.07. Congratulations, Sean, to all these great competitors. These kids show so much maturity at 11, 12, 13, 14, and up. What a great meet it's been, a real tribute to Bill Spahn.
Absolutely. Coach would be very proud watching these young folks. Leonard, again, it's been an absolute honor to share this microphone with you. Before we wrap up here, we do have to throw some recognition to our sponsors, Speed Pro, Associates in Family Medicine, Exterior Roofings, MI Sports, PDS, Professional Document Solutions, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, and Assured Flow Systems. And I have to throw an extra unofficial sponsor to Brandon from Music Go Round, because this mixer that we used today, Leonard, was collecting dust for approximately 20 years, and I didn't have a power supply, and Brandon hooked me up. Any last parting words, Leonard?
Sean, how about if we recognize the gentleman sitting to our right, Cornell Gazdaro. He's our producer. He's captain video. And Sean, even though I may not be very impressive, I think the live stream from FAST, the one produced by Cornell, it's the envy of Colorado swimming, Sean. I mean, I know what do I want to say, the weak link, but the live stream itself, Cornell, yours is the best. It's the envy of all the teams in Colorado swimming.
There's no doubt about that, Leonard. And I also want to recognize Jeremy. And I forget his last name, so I apologize, Jeremy. Oh, my dear Lord, Jeremy Thornton. That's right, Leonard. I had a brain fart. Jeremy Thornton, because he's also done a lot of work behind the scenes to make this production the quality that it is. So excellent job. I think it's time to sign out. And Leonard, I look forward to doing this again with you if our team would be so stupid enough to give us another opportunity.
If I get the pink slip, Sean, you'll be the first to know.